Hello and welcome back everyone for another edition of a Champion's Top 10 Moments. This week's video is focused on Laurel Stucky, who made her challenge debut on Season 19 Fresh Meat 2, where she made it all the way to the final and came in second place. Laurel has been viewed as one of the most intimidating challenge champions to have ever played the game. And here we will go over her top 10 moments. Now, this list is subjective. I chose them from my own perspective and opinion. If you do not agree with my list or in what order that I have these moments in, don't get mad. Just let me know down in the comment section below how you would rank these moments and why. Now, before getting into Laurel's top 10 moments, let's go over some honorable mentions, starting with Balls In from Season 25 Free Agents. This was domination upon domination. Laurel was facing off against Jasmine, and Jasmine did get a point.
I really hope you didn't just give me that point, but if you did, thanks.
But it seemed like a moral point as Laurel wasn't trying to hurt Jasmine or go too hard on her, knowing that Laurel was going to win this thing no matter what. I also want to mention how Laurel had a really strong start to her challenge career, going to 3 straight finals to start off her challenge career. I mean, she went to the finals in each of her first 4 seasons, but she won her 4th season, where in her first 3 seasons, she kept on getting second place, which is stellar. And another moment that people would deem one of Laurel's top moments and one of her more iconic moments is her defending Cara in Season 21, clapping back at Paula after her and Wes made her partner Cara cry. I can't really show this moment with audio because it would hinder the performance of this video, but let's just say that this moment for Laurel is one that people always come back to and is always referenced to with Laurel. All right, now it's time to get into the top 10, starting with number 10, and that is the blast off elimination in Season 21. In Episode 7, Laurel and Cara came in last place in the Sawed Off Daily Challenge. They were set up to go directly into the elimination against the house vote of Jasmine and Janae. They played in the Blast Off elimination, which was basically a football drill where the teams tried to push each other out of a circle. Jasmine and Janae gave it their all, but there was no way Laurel and Cara would lose. Jasmine and Janae were outsized and outmuscled. This elimination was such a blowout and so much domination that it was impressive how well they were able to win, hence why I put it in the top 10, but because it wasn't much of a match, that's why I have it so low on the list. Now let's go to Laurel's first mercenary appearance in Season 31 Vendettas, where she faced off against Brittany in the Yanking My Chain elimination. Like a reverse tug of war, players would be tethered together, run around a circular structure, trying to ring a bell on the other side of the structure. Again, just like in the blast off elimination, Laurel had an advantage with her height and muscle and weight compared to Brittany. Once DJ blew that horn and the 2 women were off, Laurel had a great lead on Brittany, getting much closer to her bell than Brittany was able to. Once Laurel was able to get her hands on the outside of the structure's base, she was able to muscle her way over to her bell, ringing it, eliminating Brittany, and getting this elimination win. It was another easy win for Laurel, or should I say it looked easy for Laurel to win this. And I know that this is really difficult because a lot of Laurel's elimination wins just look really solid and look like she dominated every single one. But because of the size difference and the opponent that she was facing off in this particular elimination makes it why I have it at number 9 on this list. Now for the number 8 moment on this list, we have to go back to Season 21, Rivals, where in Episode 3, Cara and Laurel came in last place, were getting sent directly to the elimination, and thanks to pressure from Paula and Evelyn, Camilla and Teresa were voted into the elimination to face off against them. This was a highly anticipated matchup of 2 strong teams, and they'd be playing the door jam elimination, trying to get more of their color on their side of the wall. Now, prior to the elimination, Camilla and Teresa tried to psych everyone out by acting like they weren't going to even play in the elimination. But it was all a ruse because when TJ blew the horn, the game was on. This was very competitive, and it really could have been anybody's game. But when it came down to it, Laurel and Cara Maria were able to edge out Teresa and Camilla. Now for Laurel's 7th moment, let's go to Season 25, for the Wrecking Wall elimination. Now, a big moment in Free Agents came in episode 11 when the once friends Laurel and Kara found themselves in the elimination against each other. Over the course of the season, Laurel and Kara's friendship had soured. Kara didn't like how Laurel spoke to her. Laurel would then start getting closer with Jessica, and by the time we got to episode 11, the two weren't seeing eye to eye at all.
Our friendship is over.
It almost felt scripted by how this all played out between Kara and Laurel and the roller coaster of their friendship, to the point where it would end with one player's hopes and dreams of making the finals being smashed by the other one. This moment would be way higher on the list if Kara hadn't broken her hand in the balls in elimination the episode before. And that was such a huge disadvantage going into the Wrecking Wall elimination. An elimination where players would have to punch and kick footholds and handholds in the wall to climb up it and ring a bell. So not only was Laurel taller to give her a height advantage, but Laurel also had the use of all her limbs, where Laurel was able to get this win. This moment would easily be in the top 3 if it wasn't for the circumstances of Kara being injured in this elimination. For the number 6 moment, let's go to season 20, Laurel's sophomore season in Cutthroat, where it was Laurel versus Camilla in the Die Hard elimination. Laurel's gray team did a great job, except for in episode 7 when they lost the daily challenge. The team had to vote one of their members into elimination, and Laurel was the choice. Of course, Laurel wasn't happy about it, but she was voted in and was facing Camilla. Now, in the Die Hard elimination, the two players would have to maneuver a giant die while standing on it. They couldn't touch the ground or they'd be disqualified. This is an elimination where I think Laurel's height wasn't a clear advantage for her, as she almost fell off this dice, or her leg almost touched the ground multiple times while trying to maneuver this around the arena. And watching this elimination back, I feel this elimination win was highly underrated because this was much closer than I remembered it. It looked to have come down to a matter of seconds where both Laurel and Camilla were about one number away before Laurel quickly moved her die into the box and showed the correct number to get the win. As I mentioned earlier, Laurel would go on to make the season 20 final, but come in second place. But what I think is even more impressive is her performance in her rookie season in season 19, Fresh Meat 2. Laurel had such an impressive rookie season. She was the second woman chosen, 3rd overall pick to be partnered up with Kenny. The two would go on to win 5 out of 9 daily challenges. They'd win the one and only exile that they were voted in.
Carry it on your back and walk through the pain.
The only real critique I could have for Laurel and her rookie season is that they didn't win. They lost to Landon and Carly, who just had a much better performance in the final than her and Kenny did. Now let's see what I have at the number 4 Laurel moment. Going back to season 25, Anissa was voted in by the house while Laurel drew the kill card. The women went head to head in a hall brawl variance known as the Oppenheimer. This looked to be a smash mouth elimination. However, in the first round, the action was pretty minimal. As the two women were running towards each other, it looked like they grazed each other in passing, while Laurel just was able to ring her bell mere seconds before Anissa did. The second round was much scrappier. Anissa tried to get lower to put the hit on Laurel, but Laurel was a wall. It almost looked like Anissa would get whiplash from this collision. Once they finally split paths, it was down to another foot race. Laurel just edged out Anissa in round 2 to win this 2-0. This elimination showed off Laurel's speed, athleticism, strength, and overall grit. By this point in Laurel's career, this was the biggest test for her in an elimination, and she was able to come out on top. Now, staying in Free Agents, we go to the Puzzle Pyramid elimination between Laurel and Teresa. This was the final elimination right before the final. It was a surprise elimination as the final 8 showed up to an impromptu draw with TJ one afternoon. In the Puzzle Pyramid, the first player to complete all 3 of their puzzles and ring the bell first wins and gets their ticket to the final. Now, Laurel jumped out to an early lead, making quick work of the first 2 puzzles, but she drastically slowed down at the 3rd and final puzzle, which opened the door for a comeback from Teresa, who was the exact opposite of Laurel in this elimination. Teresa struggled on the first puzzle, but once she was able to get it, she got the second puzzle right away and was on to the third. It was neck and neck. But Laurel having more time to work on the final puzzle compared to Teresa was all the difference. Now, this elimination wasn't that action-packed, especially compared to the Oppenheimer elimination against Anissa, but I put the puzzle pyramid win this high because, one, it was a pivotal win. This was a win to make it into the final. The second reasoning was that this was Laurel's 4th elimination win on the season. Third, this was Laurel winning a puzzle elimination. This proved to everybody that they had to fear for Laurel, not just in her strength, but with her mind as well. The 3 other elimination wins on this season all had to deal with something physical, whereas this elimination was purely mental, and Laurel was able to focus, stay disciplined, not get too frantic, and won into the final, Laurel's 2nd best moment in her challenge career, and that was in Season 29 Invasion of the Champions when she faced off against Cara Maria in the Balls In elimination. I think this is Laurel's most impressive elimination win. This was the first season that Laurel and Cara Maria were back together competing against each other since Free Agents. And right here, we were getting a rematch. It only seemed fitting that the two would yet again have to go one-on-one against each other. But this time, both women were healthy, and they would have to face off against each other in a classic physical elimination known as Balls In. When speaking of strong women, Laurel and Cara Maria are among the top, and this elimination didn't disappoint. The first round was a defensive battle that led with a Cara Maria leg block and Laurel chokehold to end in a 0-0 tie. Heading into the second round, Laurel decided that she was going to use her size and her strength as leverage to try to put Cara Maria on her heels, so if she came at her with enough momentum that she could knock Cara Maria off balance, get to the hole, and slam dunk this ball. And it worked. Laurel running headfirst and lowering her shoulder, just brute strengthening her way to the bin, led to a 1-0 lead. Laurel then shut down Cara Maria in the second round, and Laurel put the game away by scoring the match point in round 3. Honestly, this was so much fun to watch. There's so much history between Laurel and Cara Maria that this clash in Invasion of the Champions gave me goosebumps when rewatching it for this video. And now, finally, you probably could have guessed it, Laurel's top moment in her challenge career is winning Season 25 Free Agents. This was a long time coming for Laurel, and she made it to the finals in each of her first 3 seasons. And then in Season 25, she was the center focus of the whole entire season. She won 4 daily challenges. She won 4 eliminations. She had a relationship with Jordan and her crumbling friendship with Cara. She was the driving factor of the entire season, all the way to the point of her making her 4th final in a row and finally winning a challenge championship. Now, don't get me wrong, this wasn't the easiest final to win, as she only won by a 9-minute margin ahead of Nany. And even though Zach was trying to sabotage her, which gave us this golden moment that I will never not laugh at. Indeed, that moment really set Laurel back and made things really close, but she was able to focus up, she was able to get the job done, compared to Nany, who kind of had a freak out on the bike.
Brett, I cannot feel my feet right now. Sit here for another hour and a half. My feet are so frozen right now.
And I think that led to the major difference in time heading into the final day where Laurel was officially declared the winner. But that is it for this video. What do you think about this list? Let me know down in the comment section below. I want to give a special shout out, thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.